All right, how's it going, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. Today, we are going to be going over how to write and structure business correspondence and legal correspondence that you are sending out via the mail. Okay, I see a lot of people who are just now beginning to start operating in their own right, pro se litigants, etc., etc., utilizing these documents online that are quite honestly, these document templates online that are quite honestly just terrible. To be quite honest with you, they are terrible because they are just so unprofessional. They look terrible. Okay, and if you are doing business correspondence with somebody, if you're issuing business correspondence, you want to make sure that you are coming off as the most professional, in the most professional manner that you can, and not only to make yourself look good, but to also show the other person that you respect them. Okay, guys, if I'm getting something in the mail from you and it looks like garbage, I'm not going to take that very seriously. You have to understand, you are presenting yourself to whoever it is that you're sending this correspondence to. If it's important, it needs to come off as that. It needs to come off like it's important. Presentation is everything. Presentation is everything. From the way that you write, the way that you speak, to the fonts you use in your correspondence, to the length of your correspondence. Understand that. Understand that in business. If I'm getting something in the mail that looks like, it was pulled off online from, some website where someone's posting some conspiracy theories and he's not really doesn't know much about law at all, and it's just got your information punched in there because it was a template, and it's not the paragraphs aren't right, they're not using the right not even using the right punctuation. You know what I mean? You guys should have this stuff down before you start to write legal correspondence, or you should be actively working on it. If you're not a fan of reading and writing, well, maybe the law business isn't for you. I'll be quite honest with you. Or any business that requires a lot of regulation, such as banking, or running any type of financial institution where you're required to correspond back and forth with government officials, etc., etc. Just want to make sure my mic's on. Another thing that I want to mention as well is if you are utilizing documents on the internet that you find for your business correspondence or for your legal correspondence or for any type of legal document that you are sending, that is not a very good idea, man. It's going to get you in trouble. It's going to get you in trouble in some way because there's going to be something in there that's either written in a certain way that you don't understand how it's written, but it's written in a way that can get you in trouble somehow, or written in a way to put you at a disadvantage. Because I see documents all the time online that I see pro se litigants using, or all these people who are doing their own thing in finance or whatever it is that a lot of these people are doing nowadays, and it is honestly terrifying. It's terrifying, to be quite honest with you, because of the information that is inside of those documents. And it's just, here, yeah, have this document, go ahead, punch and play your address, your information, and go ahead and send this off to a government agency that can come back and bring charges against you for something that is in there. because you haven't taken the time out to read the code. You haven't taken the time out to read documents. You haven't taken time out to read and understand whatever it is that you're doing. Okay, this is I'm speaking in a legal context, but this video applies to business correspondence as well. But if you are in a high level in business, then you already know how much the law comes into play. Okay? So what I'm going to be doing here today, as I sip my coffee here, is I'm going to be showing you the exact proper way to write business correspondence, aka legal correspondence, whatever. Business correspondence, legal correspondence, whatever I say throughout this means the same thing. Okay? I'm going to show you the exact fonts, font sizes. I'm going to show you how to write. I'm going to show you what to include in your documents. I'm going to show you some tips and tricks to include in all your documents. I'm going to give you a template, essentially. It's not going to have any legal information in there like I was just stating. But this is going to be a template that you can utilize. And feel free to change it. But what I will say, what I'm about to show you is how to make it as professional as it can get. It really does not get more professional than what I'm about to show you. I'm about to go over every single detail of how your correspondence should be written. There's going to be a blank canvas. There's not going to be any substance. This is just going to be the format. Okay? It's going to be the format that you're going to want to use for all of your business correspondence, period. And one more thing as well, before we get started. When you're sending business correspondence to somebody, as I said, you want to make sure that it's looking as professional as possible. And if it's about something important, especially, you're going to want to use nice paper. Okay, Southworth ivory woven paper, 24 pounds. That's my go-to. Is it going to cost you an extra, if you have a 3-page, 4-page correspondence, it's going to cost you an extra $1? Yeah, sure. Sure it will. But that $1 goes a long way. I'll tell you right now, that $1 goes a long way than just using plain copy paper for printing. Because that's what it's for. That plain white paper, that's for printing and copying. That's not for anything other than that, unless you're in a court setting and they require things to be certain ways, and they require you whatever you file to be on that type of paper, whatever. That white paper is for copies, for copying things. Okay? If you're including copies of things inside of your correspondence, then yeah, it can be on that copy paper, and slap a red copy stamp on it, just to make it conspicuous that it's a copy. But other than that, your correspondence should be on nice paper. Okay, Southworth ivory woven. That's what I like. I like the cream color because it's different, Everyone, receives mail on that white paper, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with using that paper. Go ahead and use it if you're in a position where you can't afford the Southworth paper. Not in a very good position, but I mean, by all means, go ahead and use the white paper. But if you want to be taken seriously, the details matter. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into how to draft a legal correspondence. This is going to be a format that you can utilize on all of your business correspondence. Doesn't matter who it is going to. Could be going to a business, could be going to a government official, could be going to a government itself. Could be domestic, could be going overseas. Could be served in person through United States Postal Service, FedEx, UPS, whatever. Okay. I'm going to be showing you a couple little tricks in there too, so make sure you stay tuned. And hope you guys like this. This is going to increase your success, hopefully, in whatever it is that you're doing. should increase your success dramatically in your business correspondence and whatever it is that your goal is. Okay, so first things first, font. I use Times New Roman. Okay, I don't use anything other than Times New Roman. And the reason for this is Times New Roman is just the standard professional font that is utilized, has been utilized for so long. You know, Roman style serif fonts. You know, I would never go Arial. It's not professional. You know, it might look modern, whatever you want to say. Well, it doesn't look professional. But yeah, Times New Roman is what you should be utilizing on all of the documents that you draft. I mean, honestly, like there's no sense in using anything else. You know, standardize your font. Use Times New Roman. Or if you don't like Times New Roman for whatever reason, I mean, it doesn't matter. You know, I mean, your personal feelings should not be coming into your font selection. Times New Roman is essentially the standard, right? Arial, it doesn't look as good. It shows me that you are trying to look professional, but you just man, it's just no. It's, I don't like Arial, man. I like Times New Roman. Okay, and that's what I'm going to stick to. If you want to choose another font, just make sure it's a serif style font. Okay, if you don't like Times New Roman, you want to stand out for whatever reason, go ahead. But with the way that this document's going to be structured, highly recommend Times New Roman. As far as font size, I'm always going to be 13 on my business correspondence because typically what you'll see in a courtroom setting is you'll see a standard for pleadings that will say anywhere from 12 to 14 point font is typically what they want to see. So if for whatever reason this correspondence has to be put into the case file or whatever, used as an exhibit on a pleading, whatever it may be, it's going to be close to whatever those local rules are for that court or that courtroom, or you know, if the judge has preferences, whatever, it'll be close. And not only is it going to be compliant in that arena, but it's also going to be easily eligible. Okay, there's going to be very few pieces of this. There's going to be literally one piece, I think. Yeah, no, there's going to be a couple little pieces, but as far as the body goes, yeah, there's going to be one piece, and that's going to be the first thing that we write, which is going to be in the center here, and that is going to be our name. Okay, and this is the way that I like to write the name. Okay, I don't put Mr. I don't put the full middle name. Let's put John H. Doe. Okay, if my name was Robert C. Shark, it would be Robert C. Shark. It wouldn't be Mr. Robert C. Shark. It wouldn't be Robert C. Shark ESQ. Not going to do none of that. The name is Robert C. Shark. That's what we're going to put on here. Okay? And we're going to come back to this line in a second here. This is going to be on the second line here. This is going to be your title at your corporation, company, office. So let's just go Chief Executive Officer for Mr. Shark here. Chief Executive Officer. And this is where we're going to put our caps lock on, because whenever I'm writing names of legal entities that I want to include potentially in a legal document, it's going to be in capital letters. That's just how you do it. It's standard. Okay? So Robert C. Shark, Chief Executive Officer. Let's just say he's Chief Executive Officer at Lawyers Bank Inc. Lawyers Bank Incorporated. If there's a DBA, go ahead. DBA, the Law Bank, right? Just for example, okay? That's what I would do. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. And also, your DBA can be this, but if you have a corporation registered in a certain name, you're going to want to probably make sure that's on there, especially if it's a legal document, okay? So I'll leave that there. Or just make it look a little bit cleaner. Now just come back up here, Robert C. Shark. I'm going to use bold his first name. I'm just going to increase it a few. Either going to make it 16 or 14, or even 15, whatever looks best for your name. You just don't want it to be too. You just don't want it to be screaming. But anywhere from 13 to 16 for the name, just to make sure that it stands out a little bit more than the other information here. Okay, so Robert C. Shark, 15 looks solid. Maybe in 14 will look a little bit better. So that's what we'll do for the first name. Okay, now this is where we're going to put the mailing address. Typically, my mailing address will be a care of address. I typically do not. I have an office specifically for processing correspondence. You can have a virtual office. You can have a mailbox. Whatever. You just want to make sure that you have a professional address, and your address doesn't look, like a $20 per month address, right? Now, listen. I'm making these. I'm making these little comments and stuff like that, but just listen. The professionalism needs to be paid attention to. You need to pay attention to that. It's the details. It's the details. Okay? I can't stress this enough. That's what I'm talking about. Font sizes. I'm talking about the font that you're using. I'm going to be talking about the format that you put the date in. I'm going to be showing you everything. Okay? So, this is how I write the address. Typically a care of address. Do 555 Blessings Way. Okay? Or Blessings Street. I'll write down the street. I'm not going to do the abbreviation ST. I'm going to write it out. Okay? 555 Blessings Street. Suites 111. Okay. This is going to be in Calabasas, California. Once again, California. The state name is written out. It's not CA. Okay. And we are going to include our zip code as this: 12345, and then our last four. Just make that a standard. You should know your last four on your zip. Okay. And if you don't have a last four, then you don't use the last four, because not all addresses have a last four. But if you have a last four, ensure to utilize it. Okay. And this is going to be in the United States of America. That is the address. Okay. Now there might be people here, knowing the pro se litigant / independent law community. I know there's gonna be people in here saying, "What do you mean we don't want to put United States of America? What do you mean that submits us to the United States jurisdiction?" Well, this is business correspondence, my friend. This is commercial correspondence. Doesn't matter if you don't want to be inside of the jurisdiction of the United States. You're probably going to be sending this through United States Postal Service, which, if you want to get a remedy inside of a federal court or a court inside of a United State, you should probably use that. Okay. And you know what? I'll have to touch on all of those theories that these people have later. I'm gonna have to address it later, because there's so much misinformation out there. I wouldn't say United States. I wouldn't just say United States. I would say United States of America. Come on, it's the proper name. Okay. And you putting this address on your document, especially if it's a care of address, is not submitting you to any type of jurisdiction whatsoever. Okay. If this is inside of the United States, if it's chartered through United States or the District of Columbia or an agency or whatever, it's going to be jurisdiction there anyways. Okay. Continuing. That's it for the header, the letterhead. Unless you want to include your phone number, right? So you just go phone, and then you're going to want to put it in the most professional manner. 00. This is how it's written out, by the way. Most professional manner. 0000. Okay. If you have fax that you also want to, and we can even take it up a notch and put telephone, fax. Typically, this is how the fax will be written. A little bit different. Okay. Let's make it look a little bit. 555. 555. Okay. Okay. I typically do not include my phone number or my fax on business correspondence, but if I was, this is the way that I would do it. Sometimes I do. The reason why I don't is because if I'm sending something through the mail anyways, I want all correspondence regarding this, whatever the correspondence is regarding, I want it all to be going through the mail. I don't want to infer that I am reachable through my telephone regarding the issue. If it's especially if it's an important issue where form is required, unless you want to communicate through the phone with regard to whatever it is that you are communicating about. Okay, I'm gonna leave this here, but typically I don't use it. I just want to put that out there just for sake of you guys understanding. Okay, but we could even probably do something like this as well to make it look a little bit cleaner. And also, you could also do this if you like. Otherwise, do that. If it's an office within a corporation, maybe you'd like to do that. I'll show you that in the recipient, in the recipient line. Yeah, here, this is the basic standard for what your header should look like. What your header should look like, just on a basic standard correspondence coming from you to another person. Okay. Now this next line here, we're gonna space it out, and we're going to put our date. And I'll tell you how the date is. Okay, today's October 3rd, so October 3, to October 3, 2024. Okay, that is how your date is written. You don't want to do anything like this. 10/03/2024. This is business correspondence. Once again, we want to make this professional. This is not a data entry. This is a correspondence. This is another human being that is receiving this. Okay. Now, to the recipients. This is where we are going to want to include the Mr., Ms., Mrs., whatever we prefer. If it's a Mrs. or Miss, usually MS is fine. So we're just going to go MS Tracy Smith. If you know her last name, or if you know her middle name, Tracy F. Smith. It's going to be the first line. Second line, let's say she is a let's say she is the secretary of Home Depot Trust, right? Okay, Home Depot. I'm just gonna tell you right now, my Home Depot is not your Home Depot, okay? And I'm not copywriting you. So, get off me. Okay? This is how we write it. Office of the Secretary, comma, Home Depot Trust, Inc. Whatever. Okay? And we're going to want to make sure that this one as well is capitalized. If it doesn't look clean, you could do that as well. Okay? Feel free to go ahead and do that. Now, I'm going to throw a curveball at you. Say the office of the secretary is on the 3rd floor of the address. It is a address inside an address. We're going to want to put the room number, if applicable. Say room D504. Okay? 5th floor of the Commerce Building. Okay. That's what you're going to put first. Then you're going to want to put the address of the building. So 500 Commercial Avenue, if there's a suite, which if it's a building, maybe not, but just for the sake of this, suite 450. Once again, Calabasas, California, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, last 4 included, United States of America. You want to make it look as professional as possible, folks. I can't stress it enough. I really can't stress it enough. Make sure everything's spelled right. Alright, so this next line here, this is going to be what this correspondence is regarding. And typically what I like to do is I like to have this be centered. You can put the RE for regarding, or you could just choose to not do that and just put whatever it is. So say we're discussing insurance claim number 635215, whatever. This is how we would do it. I'll probably just remove this here. Insurance claim from last Thursday. All right, whatever it's regarding. This is another area that you're going to want to bold, okay? And you can choose, if you aren't using the RE, insurance claim from last Thursday. Information critical information from last Thursday's insurance claim. Okay. And each of the letters is going to be capitalized in this. For sake of example, I'm just going to go ahead and leave that. Okay. Now you can choose to italicize it as well. All right. Just depends on what you like, but it should be bold regardless. And you shouldn't underline if you're going to use the RE. Just little tip to make it look better for you. Okay. Next line. This is where you're going to begin the correspondence. So you're going to say, dear Ms. Smith, colon. Okay. This is where the correspondence starts. So this is where the correspondence starts. In correspondence, you should always keep proper punctuation and stick to standard drafting principles, such as writing numbers. For example, right? Writing numbers. Your numbers should be written and typed like this. If we're discussing $1 million, okay, well, typically I'm not, and we'll get into this as well, just a little bit here. $1 million, or if it's not dollars, 1 million, just like that, and then you do the parentheses, 1 million, just so that it's written out. Okay, you write it out in text and you type it out in numbers. Now, side tangent, warning, we're going on another side tangent. All right. Typically, I only do it if it's over 10 million. Okay. If it's 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 9 million, I do it like that. Okay. Especially if it's dollars. For example, $10 million. And also, if you're using this, use bullet points. Okay. 10 million or 100 million. Okay. It will type it out like that. You see how I didn't type 100 million? I just typed 100 million, and then I'll go like this. That's the way that that's the way that I do it if it's 10 million or over. That's just personal preference for me. You want to type the full 100 million? Go ahead. All right. Just a little tip. I'm going to give you guys all the tips that I can here. Okay? But that's really it. That's really one of the major things that you should probably keep in mind. You should also know how to cite your legal authorities where required. You should be citing them in the proper format. There's multiple different formats that people use, APA or Blue Book. I stick to Blue Book. I've been using Blue Book ever since I started doing this. I have not strayed from that. I don't want to change things up after I've been using Blue Book for a long time. So I use Blue Book for everything. Just get you a copy of the Blue Book, and then anytime that you have to cite something, use Blue Book format, or get you an AI thing like Copilot. That's the one that I've been using. I'll say, for example, if I'm reading 12 US code, section 1, right? I'll just copy that in and say, hey, cite this in Blue Book format for me real quick, and it'll do that for you. But you should know how to do it anyways. And I'll create a video on going over that as well. End of the letter. And then if I'm asking you to do something, I would say something like many thanks. Okay. And this is where the next line here is where we're going to insert our, okay, and yeah, by the way, if it's 2 paragraphs, we aren't adding spaces in between. So I'll put that out there too. The space goes here, space goes here. So with that being said, you want to make sure that everything here is written in a way that's not too overbearing. Someone should be able to read it and understand it and not have to squint, even if it's 13-point font. You know what I mean? Typically, as far as line and paragraph spacings, I just keep it on single. I don't do 1.5 double or anything like that. Just keep it on single. I like the way that looks, and I've been using the same format forever, and I think it looks the most professional. All right. So now, at this stage, we have our correspondence written. What you're gonna do is you're gonna come in here, put a table in, and you're gonna want to make everything around the table white. So that you can't see it. Make all these borders white. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but I'm not out here doing tables all day anyway. So, and then this is where you're going to put your signature. This is where your signature will be. Sincerely. Okay. And that's all you have to do. And then you sign your signature here. Okay. I don't think that there's a way for me to draw on this, but you put your signature there. You don't have to put any other information. You don't have to put your typed name. You don't have to put your title at the company, because you already put that all up here. You already put it all up here in the letterhead. Okay, so all you need to do here, put your signature. You print it out on the ivory paper. Do blue ink signature. Use a nice pen. Put some time in your signature. Make sure your signature looks good. That's a nice document. Okay? But we're not done. few other things we want to add here. So I'm going to go ahead and put in another table here. So you can go ahead and copy that. And then right here below that, this is where we're going to put copies. Where were copies sent? Well, copies were sent to Mark Brown, ESQ, all right, Mr. Tory Baker, Mrs. Francine Walters. Okay, it's Francine Walters, DDS, whatever you want to put here, but you just want to make sure that it's written in, you know, whatever, like the same format as the recipient of this one is. Okay, and with that, that is the body. Really, that is the body. And by the way, give yourself enough room for the signature. This should be below your signature, so your signature should be here. Okay, and yeah, that's it for the body. Okay, so now we're going to go down to the footer. Now your footer is going to be either 8 or 9. Okay, usually I use 9. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to insert a horizontal line. You put a horizontal line here. You're going to want to center this, and this is where you put the title. And you bold it. You come down here and you put the date. Now for down here, the date that I like to do, how I like to do it, I just like to add the 0. Okay, and I also like to serialize the document. So that serial number, I'm going to unbold, is typically going to go right here. And this is the way that I usually do it, right? Do year, month, day, and then I do whatever document it is for the day. And usually it'll go up to 99, right? So if this is the 99th document of the day, it's going to be 99. Okay, and before this is where I'll have like either 2-3 letters depending on what it is for. Okay, so if this is for Lawyers Bank Inc., maybe just be LB, right? Just so that I can keep everything organized. LB 2024, and then this is where I just like to take each letter of the title, CIFLTIC, okay, just so that I have some type of idea what it is. All right, and when I'm filing this inside of my database, I'm going to put that first. Come in here, go like that, boom, that's going to be the title of the file. Okay, and in addition, this is where we're going to put our page numbers. So always do page blank of however many pages there are. If there's 3 pages, you do 3 pages. Even if there's 1 page, I like to do this so that there's not any confusion as to how many pages are, you know, that comprise the document, right? And then in here, you're gonna insert page numbers, and I just do that one, and then page 1 of 1, and then it should automatically add it on new pages, right? So for example, if we come down here, add another page, it'll be page 2 of 1. In addition to that, I like to italicize and bold that. Could choose to also take this down here, depending on how long the title is. Really, all just is personal preference. This is just what I like to do, and this is just for internal purposes, and it also kind of saves you a little bit on some, you know, critical information regarding the document. Okay, so that's going to be what you do for your footer. That's just what I do. Okay, this is not something that's, you know, you need to do this. You know, if you don't do this, then, you know, yada yada yada, like some of the other stuff I was talking about. But all right. Just gonna go ahead and get all this crap out of here. it's something that you should do. You know, you should serialize your docs for internal organization purposes, and you should have a cloud folder inside of a encrypted file hosting service where you keep your documents, you keep the PDFs, whatever. But yeah, so that's it for the footer. I'll come back to the header. Again, it's gonna be 8 or 9, and then this is where I'm going to put my USPS certified mail tracking number, and then it's gonna be like 9950 1234 1234 1234 1234 99. And this is where you're going to want to ensure that this is on. And then, by the way, yeah, this is going to be on every page of the document. And you should know the tracking number first. You should know how to do that. You should know how to get your tracking number before you ship the package out. Get yourself some certified mail forms, and then you'll have all the tracking numbers right there. If you're sending it a different way, use USPS, the website, purchase your label, whatever. But always ensure that you do that, because if the document has the tracking number on it, then it's going to be a little bit more difficult to prove that they never got it. What you sent in there wasn't what I got. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. And you should be utilizing a certificate of service every time that you send out business or legal correspondence. Especially if it's important. But you should be doing it every time, regardless. Find a place. Find like a mom and pop shop where you can send your mail out. Don't go to the post office every time. Sometimes they're busy. They're underpaid. They're not going to be very friendly. Find a local postal agent. All right? They got all types of shops. They got all types of little mom and pop shops that are, UPS, USPS, FedEx. You can send everything out there. You do printing there, whatever. Find a place like that. Start going there. Build a relationship with the people. You know how important relationships are in business. If someone there needs to sign your certificate of service, go ahead. Have someone there do it. But you should always have a notary present. But we'll go over the certificate of service. Oh yeah. And there is one other thing that I want to add here. That is footnotes. Your footnotes should be 10. Okay? So footnote to expand on whatever it is. If it's 2 footnotes, just make sure that you have a space between them, so it's not, 2 footnotes on the same page. Footnote 2. And that is how you do it. Ladies and gentlemen. That is how you create a legal correspondence. Alright guys, so I decided to come back in real quick and just show you guys the certificate of service. Rather just do it here than show you in a different video. It's just a basic standard certificate of service. You can find these all over the place online. This is one that I think I found this one online and edited a little bit to fit my preferences, but yeah, you can find these all over the place online. This is just the one that I use. I want to go over some critical things in here regarding the certificate of service. So yeah, this is what you're gonna want to get a copy of this, an original copy. I recommend again doing this on 24-pound Southworth woven paper. You're gonna want to get an original copy of this. This is gonna be signed in blue ink by the person who is serving the papers, the person who is putting this thing in the mail, and their written name as well. They're going to write that, and it's going to include a jurat as well from a notary public. Okay, but to begin with, this is essentially a testimony. Here is an affidavit. You can also entitle it affidavit of service if you like. I just use certificate of service. It's just standard knowledge of what it is, right? And this is very standard here. On this 10th day of September 2024, in county name, state name, on behalf of Robert C. Shark, which was our guy here on this, who was sending this correspondence, I personally deposited the following documents inside the envelope, sealed them, and transmitted them via the carrier indicated below. And then here we have the document numbers. So document 1, document 2, document description. For the original, for all original copies, I put original, and then the title of the document and the serial number of the document. Okay, if it's a copy of something, I put copy of, and then title of the document, and then if there's an identifying number on the document, I'll put that here. I'll put that in here as well. Number of pages here. Our document was 1 page. Copy of the insurance summary, 7 pages, and then down here a total of 2 documents with a combined total of 8 pages. Okay. Now they are affirming that they personally mailed 1 set of the documents as described via United States Post Office certified mail. This is going to be the whatever service it is that you use, and then here's the tracking number. If return receipt was requested, you're going to want to put that there too. To the following persons and addresses, simple as just copy and pasting your recipient from over here, which is literally what I did, as you can see. Footer, same thing. I discussed the format for for the internal serialization, and the date down here as well. Page 1 of 2, because this is 2 pages. Same thing for the footer. Same format as we used over at the original correspondence. I affirm that I'm at least 18 years of age, that I'm not related to the sender name. Once again, not related to Robert C. Shark. Okay, not related to Robert C. Shark. By blood, marriage, adoption, or employment, that I serve as a disinterested third party who is in no way connected to or involved in the matter at issue in this instant action. I now affix my signature to these affirmations. I put the signature printed, and then you have a jurat. It needs to be a jurat, not a notary public's acknowledgement. This needs to be a notary public's jurat. If you don't know the difference between a jurat and acknowledgement, a jurat is where the person is swearing that what they are signing, the information that is inside of what they're signing, is complete, correct, true. You know, it depends on what state you are in. If you're in the United States doing this, what the exact words are that your notary will say, and the jurat should be in the proper format that is prescribed by the state where this is being sent. Okay? If I'm sending this in California, this is going to be literally as close as I can get it to what the prescribed format is for the jurat in California. Okay? Put your state, put your county, notary seal there. Boom. Now you have evidence that this was sent. You have the tracking number. You have someone who is testifying that this document was sent this way, having this tracking number to this person on this day in this county. And you have a notary public who is taking their oath, affirming that this person was present, this person did swear that everything here is correct. This is a critical piece of evidence for you in your legal correspondence, in case a person who you are litigating with comes in and says, well, we never received it. We never got that. We never got that notice. How are we supposed to know? We never got that notice. You say, oh, you didn't. No problem. Here's sworn testimony showcasing that you did, from a disinterested third party, sworn before an officer of the court. Notary public. Okay? Just want to show you guys real quick. There's not really a standard for this. This is just what I've been using for a while. I remember finding one online. I was using that one for a while, and it slowly but surely turned into my own thing. You know, there were some things in here that I wanted to change, and just changed it up over time. Yeah, same thing. 13-point font for everything. I like to typically stick to 13-point font. You know, it's just what's preferred out there, man. It's just what's preferred out there. You know, yeah. That's it, guys. Just wanted to show you this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the entire video. Please drop me a comment, leave a like, whatever. Let me know your feedback. Appreciate you guys, and see you later.